Midwinter's day has just passed us, the winter solstice, the shortest day and the longest night. And although it is Midwinter's day in common language, and although the days gradually start getting longer, more or less really from next week, it's still really only the beginning of winter. Of course, we know that July and August are going to be the coldest months, so we've still got a lot of hunkering down, cuddling, rain in Cape Town to look forward to, and of course lots more excitement on the political and personal front as usual. Yes, it's time for the month ahead, and there has of course been a lot happening out there in the world with the so-called Zupta leaks and everyone waiting to see what's going to happen. And as I speak here at the end of June, increasingly we're starting to see signs of resistance and signs of people implicated in those leaks gradually beginning to defend themselves one way or the other, or at least attempt to. So I know many people have asked me what to expect from that in the near future, and I did a quick check on that, and only looking at the month ahead we can see that the process initiated by the Daily Maverick and other newspapers or online papers as well to go through the vast amount of material that they acquired to do with the all sorts of underhanded Gupta and government dealings. It's going to take them quite a while to go through, and it's evident from the chart that that remains true. It does look like we can look forward to some important revelations around about the middle of the month. So maybe it will be bigger than something that's gone before. We shall have to see, but it's going to take all the way until the very end of the month before we really get to some response or reaction or wheels beginning to turn in some way as a result of all of this information coming out. Looking at the president's chart, he continues to look somewhat invisible. We know from this particular president that invisible doesn't mean he's quietly hiding in a corner. It means that he's engaging in things that we don't know about and are bound to be shocked and surprised when we find out about them. That might only be next month. So for this month, look forward to keep on reading and keeping tabs on who is doing what with your money as those Gupta leaks continue to come out. Well, time to have a look at your own stars, and starting of course as ever with the cardinal signs. Cardinal signs are so named because they occur at the solstice and the equinox points and are said to be the pivots around which the whole world operates. So looking at the cardinal signs, you're used to initiating things, and this month it's going to be very much about getting things going, or should we really say trying to get things going. It is true, cardinal signs, that you won't have any problem feeling motivated, getting your ambitions onto the table and initiating some of the changes and developments that you want to happen. But in truth, it's going to be a little bit harder than that. So keep pushing, and then a little bit later, as the month progresses, things finally happen. For the first cardinal sign, Aries, Aries is really all dressed up and ready to go and finding it a little bit harder than usual. Don't let that stop you, but what is important is that you mustn't lose your cool. Your goals right now are very important, and some Aries will even be finding that results from previous achievements are actually coming in. So there isn't such a mad dash to get on with new goals as kind of there usually is. So be a little bit gentler on yourself and be a little bit less worried about what seems to be frustrating you. Of course, it's other people that are getting in the way, or that are holding you back, or creating waylays to the side. And you know what? This is actually an opportunity to pursue one of those. Since it's going to be a little while before you can really charge ahead with something, this is a time to explore some side avenues and some other opportunities so that you don't get too frustrated. But don't wander off too far, because things are really moving despite your frustration and despite your feeling that it's not going as fast as you want it to go. It's actually all good. Get the energy in place now, and it will be able to turn into something constructive and rewarding in about a month's time. Just don't lose your cool. For Cancerians, of course, this is the solstice period, and this is your birthday, so it is one of those pivotal times for you, and this year it really is. Although, like all the cardinal signs, things aren't moving quite as fast as you'd like them to, it isn't really a problem. You can really get things back on track this month. For the last month, maybe more, things haven't gone quite the way that you expected. Either things came to nothing, or maybe they didn't even happen at all, but now they're beginning to happen again, so you're back on track. It is going to still take a little while before finally the new developments that you were expecting before to actually come into play. So you still got to wait a few weeks before you really see the results you were even expecting last month. But no matter, it's still going to happen for you. And the good news is, this is a good month for money. It's a great month for money. Sometimes money just means good things, or something that you've needed or wanted, and might not actually be money itself, but it's still going to make you very happy. So it does look like good results and good rewards are the themes that Cancerians can look forward to, make you feel a little bit better about yourself and get past what's been going on that wasn't feeling so good. A much better month ahead for you. For Librans, well, Librans are all about love and pleasure and relationships, and luckily that's what it's all about this month. While the other cardinal signs are worrying about not charging ahead fast enough, you're just fine. Not only is there an opportunity to bring your relationship back into balance, and perhaps even a little bit more than that, there might be opportunities to take a relationship a little bit further. For Librans who are not involved in a relationship, well, maybe something's on the go, but like all Librans, this is a month for people and things that you love. So whether you end up in a relationship with one of those people or not is almost besides the point. It's concentrating on who you love to be with, on what you love to do, and it's in those circumstances that you're probably going to get an opportunity to expand your social sphere. It's also a good month for money for Librans. You'll be feeling stronger and more secure, and maybe a little bit self-indulgent or indulgent on the one that you love. And there's nothing that's going to improve a relationship more than a little bit of showering of gifts right now. But it's really all about the love, Librans. For Capricorns, well, things were moving quite slowly over the last few months, and fortunately, things are beginning to show results and gradually fall into place. It's probably another month or two before you realize that all the slow effort this year was really worth it, but certainly this month you seem to go around a corner, and especially by the second half of the month you finally feel that you're on top of things that have been frustrating you for some time. Like all the cardinal signs, unfortunately, things are just not going to move as fast as you'd like them to go. So there's still potentially a little bit of frustration, but you know, Capricorn is the patient sign, and gradually, as things get further into place, it actually feels like you're checking boxes on your checklist, and that makes a Capricorn feel comfortable. Nothing makes you feel more comfortable than feeling as if you achieved something and did something constructive. So plenty of opportunity for that this month. But your relationship also needs a little bit of attention. It's looking stuck or stagnant. For some Capricorns, that could be a comfortable holding pattern, in which case it's fine. But if you know that I'm talking to you, then make sure some of that forward moving energy is put into that relationship as well. Well, we heard that the cardinal signs are the pivots around the world which the world turns. Something's got to hold it in place, and what holds it in place are the fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Well, fixed signs, this is not a time that you'll be holding very much in place, because this is the month when things really begin to move. For some of the fixed signs, that's going to be things that you wanted to happen that can finally get going and get some results. And for some others of the fixed signs, it's things are moving despite the fact that you were wishing that they wouldn't. But nevertheless, things are beginning to change, and this could only end up as quite a good thing, because change is what makes growth happen. The first of the fixed signs, Taurus, is in the zone this month. Taurus, you actually have the world at your fingertips, so to speak. You can choose to go ahead with goals and do everything you like, or you can choose to sit back, enjoy, and just get some of those comfy, snuggly winter vibes happening for you. It's all about what you want, and sometimes that can also be a little bit self-indulgent. You've got to be careful that you don't become the victim of your own pleasures and indulgences this month, in the sense that it turns into laziness and stagnation, and strangely enough, in the end of all of that, a little bit of insecurity. So make sure that you've still got something on the go that takes advantage of being in the zone and really brings in some of the rewards from previous goals. It does look like anything behind the scenes, of course, will benefit from all of that, but there are people around you who are bringing good things to you, and it even looks like money from your efforts. That's why I'm saying the weird Murphy's Law of the cosmos. It's great to have a month where it says sit back and chill, but at the same time it's saying if you lift a finger, you'll see more than that coming back. So why not lift a finger? For Leos, well, Leo, things have finally returned to some kind of an equilibrium, and you also probably feel like a little bit of a pull back and relax and do things your own way. And probably for much of this month, you actually will be able to do that. You know, the month before our birthday is a lower, weaker kind of a month. It often feels like things are not working out, or things come to nothing, and it can get a little bit unnerving. But don't be unnerved. Not only is it the month before your birthday, and that kind of stuff is a little bit natural, but also your chart is saying there's a very stop-start effect going on with anything you might try and do. Plus, it looks like there's more stuff you have to do than you want to do that's actually going to be developing and changing. And it isn't have to do in any horrible sense of the word. It actually means you're going to have to come out of your shell. You're going to have to go out there a little bit, put yourself forward, or put your best foot forward, as they say, because despite the fact that you don't feel like it, that is still going to bring good results. In fact, if you need to get yourself out there in some way, this is still the month to do it, even if you don't feel like it. Not fun how things never happen when we feel like them, but you know, the great thing is that once you do them, the ball is rolling and it's all happening. So get going quietly, and after your birthday, things really do speed up. Scorpios also face the problem of having to make changes they'd rather not change. Of all the fixed signs, Scorpio is the one most disconcerted by changes that happen outside of your control. And of course, you're not always in control. Maybe I shouldn't be telling everyone on TV just how much you are in control some of the time. Well, all I can say is this is one of those times to let go of that completely. It's carrying on from last month. You'll know I spoke a little bit about that last month, but right now it's really all about you can help. You've got something to offer that someone needs, and you can choose to give of yourself wholly and willingly. It doesn't mean to just any old one. Obviously, hopefully this is someone that you have a personal connection to, or you can see the benefits for, that obviously it's something that you still think through. But this is really, you have something unique to offer that can make a big difference to someone else. So why not do that? Hey, if that's your business, well then bonus, because then we're also talking about business success. But the point really is, this is a time to give, not sacrifice, just give, and your time for rewards will be around soon. For Aquarians, it looks like this month is all about letting go for you. When things change faster than we want them to change, well, then we have to learn to let go a little bit, and that's not something that you usually have too much difficulty doing, even though you are a member of this family of fixed signs. So letting go, in fact, going further than letting go, throwing out, getting rid of, destroying those things that have been obstacles for a while. Your chart suggests that there's new information coming in, or new people, or new places and experiences that are available to you if you're willing to remove or put behind you the obstacles that have been standing in your way for some time. And the way to do that is to look at yourself and think, how am I some of those obstacles? Probably through your obligations to other people at the moment. I'm not saying ditch all your obligations to other people, but as ever, other people are probably holding you back, and you don't even need to be there in the first place. A graceful exit is called for, or a release of someone in some way, and then you're free to go, because this is the time to explore new things, Aquarians, and that's where the fast changes will come from for you. The mutable signs: Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Well, you're the ones who are normally all about adapting and going with the flow, but this month it's all about actually making it happen yourself, because things are happening and you can finally get a whole bunch of old stuff done, tied up, finished up, tie up some old loose ends, get some stuff behind you that has been dragging you down for too long, and actually start breaking new ground in the month ahead. Looks exciting for the mutable signs, although sometimes you're standing around waiting for things to happen to you. So now's the time to actually make it happen. Starting with you, Geminis. Geminis have been on a roll for a little while. Last month was great for you. There were new things coming in last month that made you quite excited. Might not have gone the whole way, but there's more, because there's still this month going on. So Geminis, this month is the month where you'll really see some follow-up from what's going on before. You can still make it happen and put yourself out there in every way that you can. This is a good time to advance your own agenda. Also, for some Geminis, maybe you're doing it yourself through your own business or making something happen. I recommend that even if it isn't business that I'm talking about, and you're really fine and stable in your work, that as a Gemini, take advantage of this phase to really get some of your own projects on the go as well. Also, anything you've been wanting to do for yourself, especially if that's about even your physical appearance, whether you've been wanting to really change your style, get that haircut, and perhaps do some other kinds of work, this would certainly be the time to kind of freshen yourself up and take a whole fresh view. Last month's birthday really seemed to take you around a corner, and this month is the time to capitalize on that. So things keep going ahead, keep pushing, you'll see those results. Virgos, firstly, it's all about what happens at home. This is the time when you can really get to the bottom of some things, as well as once and for all do what you've been meaning to do around the house. That could also be cleaning out who and what no longer needs to be there. So basically, take no prisoners this month. Get what you want in that domestic environment. Make it your own and make it your safe space. It does also look like other kinds of goals could be benefiting as well, because you're really feeling strong this month. So Virgo, things that need a bit of courage, need a bit of forcefulness, or maybe your more familiar persuasiveness, those things are going to work very well for you as well. It could be helpful when it comes to family matters. Family is not usually the people that we can be very persuasive with, because old patterns and old habits seem to persist. But nevertheless, Virgos, this is still a time when you can actually make some progress in family matters that you've been dealing with, because they all seem to want to listen to you this month. So exercise some leadership in that, and you'll happily be moving along, getting the family going along with you. For Sagittarians, well, Sagittarians are not mad about responsibilities, but boy, does it look like you have them this month. And you've just got to do it all. Well, it's not even a question of tagging along. It's a question of you're in charge. You probably have to act with leadership. You're probably juggling things that belong to lots of different people. And this is one of those times when you just can't put them down. The good news is that the charts show you really successfully discharging these responsibilities. It looks so well worth the effort that you have to undertake in the month ahead, because you're going to achieve exactly what you set out to achieve, and you're going to get some lasting results. It sounds great, but remember, for some Sagittarians, that's going to mean you need to really act with that perseverance that isn't always there. You can easily lose patience and shoot off to the next thing, and this is not the time to be doing that. It does look like you're getting a lot of support on your relationship side, so you can relax and rely on relationships to prop up the personal side while you keep on worrying about everyone else's responsibilities. For Pisces, it's one of those times when it's really great to go ahead and do your thing, and it's really not the thing that you feel like doing. Pisces easily inclined to inertia. That doesn't really mean that you just sit around doing nothing. It means that you allow others to direct your flow. And even though going with the flow is great and it's a good characteristic, and it even often brings good results, it doesn't always bring the results that you want or that benefit you personally. And that's what's got to change this time. It is true that right now the stars show that the types of benefits that work for you best are personal, so you can really make sure that it's amongst your friends and in your personal life in general that you're not just getting swept along by the tide. Professionally, things are working for you, and as long as you keep your finger on the pulse and make sure that you don't lose sight of where things are going, it does look like it is following what you need or what your ambitions are all about, and can bring good results to you personally. But keep your finger on that rudder, because in general the urge to go with the flow is so strong at this time that you might end up getting a little bit out of what could have been quite a lot of great opportunities this month. So go for it. Your Questions is the occasional slot where I get to answer your personal questions about something that's going on in your life at the moment, or something critical that's happening, and perhaps astrology can help you. So stay tuned for the rest of the segment where you'll see how you can send your questions to me as well. But in the meanwhile, I've heard from Anthea. Anthea, you are just about to start a new venture, and you want to know whether on the one hand it's the right one for you, and secondly whether it looks like there's going to be success, especially financial success, in the forthcoming periods. So firstly, you did tell me a little bit about the business, and I don't want to talk too much about that because I think that's yours to talk about. The business hasn't really started. But I do know that it's a business that's got a lot to do with people, and you've got certain talents and skills that you can use with people, and I will tell you that your chart shows that is absolutely the perfect job for you. Your skill is very much people. You know, your profession is strongly influenced by the planet Venus, who is the social planet, the planet of love, the planet of harmony, the planet of beauty and pleasure. So I think you can see in there a lot of things that will relate to what you want to do with your business. But there is also further information in your chart that says, especially if you start such a business yourself and are either self-employed, the boss or the founder or something like that, then the business is definitely going to work. So I will tell you, in terms of is this your path, it's an unquestionable yes. When I look at how the business is going to succeed, not unexpectedly for a new business, the chart shows that it's going to be financially difficult at first. In fact, in the beginning, you might find it very difficult to make money, and you might be spending more money than you make. Not unusual for a new business, as I've said, so you mustn't panic about that, because the chart certainly shows a longer term success. Medium to long term financial success is there. Short term is going to be very challenging, but you can go through that process as part of the setting up. It's definitely worth it. This is the path for you, so you've just got to get on with it, go for it, and look forward to the outcome. And if you're watching, and if you've got a question coming up or a situation coming up in the near future, and it's a little bit difficult to go ahead without a little bit extra information, well, then maybe I can help you. I need to use personal information that makes it a bit more personal than that monthly look at the flow of energy that affects us all. So with your date of birth, your place of birth, and your time of birth, I can really get the information that's all about you. So get your question to me by visiting the Facebook page, Rod Suskin's World. There's an email button that you can send me a message directly, include information about your question, your date, place, and time of birth as well, and try and be as accurate as possible with that time of birth. More than half an hour out, and we could even come up with the wrong answer. So see what you can do over there. And of course, while you're on the Facebook page, remember to like it and share it with your friends. Liking that page keeps you updated with all the newest information that pertains to things that I've been doing on the show, and of course what's coming up. We've got a great interview next week that's all about something that astrology can do that I'm pretty sure you had no idea it could. You will be amazed. So remember to join me next week, Friday, as usual. See you right here.